Winter's still hanging around, but it's quickly drawing to a close. And we hadn't hardly done any repair and maintenance this winter. Let's go ahead and start rectifying that right now. All right, first thing we're gonna get started on is my new 22 Ram 2500. You're probably saying, you bought that thing brand new, it ain't got any miles on it. What the heck you possibly got to do to it? Well, we got a modification we're gonna do to it. What we're gonna do is we're going to install this B&W gooseneck hitch on it. Why are you installing the gooseneck hitch? You ain't got no gooseneck trailers. That's right, we don't have any gooseneck trailers. The reason we don't have any gooseneck trailers is because I've never had a truck with a gooseneck hitch. So we're going to start out by rectifying that. So after doing a lot of research online, these B&W removable ball gooseneck hitches are widely considered to be the best out there. I should have all the holes pre-drilled in the frame up under the bed for this hitch, so it's just going to be a simple matter of getting my hole cut out in the center and bolting this thing up, and then I'll be ready to go gooseneck trailer shopping. Anyway, I watched a couple videos on this, so first things first, we need to get the bed mat out, we need to drop the spare tire, and we also need to drop the exhaust. So let me get those things out of the way. We'll see what we're looking at. Well, how nice, I finally found where the jack in the spare tire removal tool is supposed to be, up under here, and as you can tell, it's empty. Apparently the previous owner or dealership or whatever robbed it out of there. And it takes that special tool to be able to lower the rear tire, so might have to get inventive here. All right, well, Andy, apparently there's an epidemic of used car dealers taking jacks and spare tire removal tools out of used vehicles before they sell them, because my 1500 is also missing the hardware. So both the trucks I bought in the last year are missing the spare tire removal tool. And there's a nut way back up under that hole, a square-headed nut that we have to access to turn the crank to let the spare tire down. So if I had a 6-point socket, I could probably attach it to multiple extensions and reeds here, but I doubt I've got a 6-point socket that size. We'll put our heads together and let you know what we come up with. Apparently the female end of a 1/2-inch drive extension fits the square shaft, so just in case you ever need it. Is that all the way, or?
A little more.
All right, now we got the spare tire down. The area we got to access is right up in there. It's that big hole. That's where the gooseneck ball is going to go. But first we got to take this exhaust heat shield off and then drop the exhaust down. All right, now we got the tailpipe out of the way. We got plenty of room to work in there. So Andy, I need that gauge tool. It looks like an L or whatever. That's where we're going to need to mark the center point to drill. All right, we're going to use this gauge right here to position. All right, we got our little gauge push here, so we're going to push it up against the bed, and then we're going to mark this center hole here, and that's where we want to drill. All right, we got our point marked right there. Now we're ready to drill our pilot hole before we go on top with the circular saw. Y'all don't ever get fat where it's hard to bend over like this. Alright, now we're ready to go up top, do our drilling. Alright, you can see right there, there's a pilot hole. Now we're going to take our 3.5-inch hole saw and make the hole for the hitch there. out.
Nope.
All right, now that we got our hole drilled, and I don't like that it's not center of that hole there, but I think that's what said it. That's what it said in the instructions. But now we got to install these straps with the nuts on top of the cross member here, and that's what the bolts are going to go through there and tighten up against those nuts. We got our rods with the nuts worked up under there. Now the next step's going to be lift the whole assembly up there and get some bolts started. The instructions say this is easiest done with an assistant. I'm glad I got Andy here to assist me.
Assisting.
All right, get to practice my bench pressing skills here. That's a solid 50 pounds. I guess I can take the ball out. That loosen it up a little bit. All right, you ready? All right, right there. I know I can see these over here on this side.
I got it. Oh, just spun it around. At least it started. You can't feel it on your
I can't feel it at all. It's way sideways. Oh wait, there it is.
Push it a little bit.
I can't see nothing. Is that about where it's supposed to be?
It looks like it.
All right, now I think we need to run them up with an impact wrench. Not real tight, but just enough to pull it up.
Those are 15, 16.
All right, we got the first 4 bolts in there. Andy got up there on top. Does it look centered with the hole that we drilled?
Yeah, I mean the gray is a little bit off center, but when I drop the ball in there, it looks pretty perfect. So
Good enough for me. All right, that's all we need. All right, need those other 4 bolts to go into the sides here on the front and back. All right, these on the side, no hope of getting an impact on here, so we're going to do these a slow way with a wrench. No, I'm going to get these on the center good and tight. All right, according to the German torque system, they're good and tight.
Right now.
All right, so we got all 8 of our bolts in. All right, next step is we got to get our handle, our ball release handle that Andy already stuck in there, hooked up to our latch release. We get that hooked up, then you can release the ball from right out there in the fender well. All right, Andy, try our lever out there. Oh, how nice is that?
Oh, yeah.
Works good for now. Wonder how well it'll work after 10 years of mud and gravel and everything else. All right, last thing, got to put our safety chain loops on, and we got to drill those from the top. All right, Andy, for that template to work right to drill out the holes for our safety chains, we're going to pull the ball up and where the square edge fits around there. So let me release it. All right, now set it back down in there like that. Yeah, we're going to have to want to center mark them, and then we'll drill them. All right, Andy got the safety latches installed, got the holes drilled out. Now we got to go on the bottom and I guess put the springs and nuts on there.
Tighten them up. They're on there.
Oh, you've already put the nuts and springs on there?
Got them started. I tightened them.
All right, so tighten them up and we'll just about have this done. Here, let me pull this latch out. Go ahead and set that ball in there like it's supposed to be.
Ah, look at that. Yeah, now this way I'll be able to borrow Mark's gooseneck cattle trailer, hauling them big heifers up to get slaughtered rather than my bumper pull one that I don't know if it'd make it or not with all the weight it's got to haul. All right, here's the safety latches right there. All right, pull it up again. And I like this one over other designs that I saw because the other ones, I guess they had longer bolts or they were placed a little bit different and they would hang down enough on this side that they might rub your exhaust pipe. All right, other models that I looked at also had the, see how they stick up above the ridges of the bed just a little bit. Other models I looked at had the safety latches in the ridge that was raised, which would mean they would really stick up. But this way, since it's kind of in the recessed ridge, it'll it'll stick up a little bit, but it'll be a lot more closer to flush mount. Well, guys, that's how you install a gooseneck hitch in a 3500 ram. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I mean, we did it in what, 3 hours or so, and that was reading instructions and everything else. So not too bad. Now we just got to button up everything up under the underside, put our exhaust back on, spare tire back on, and she'll be ready to do some hauling. But next thing for this truck, I'm gonna have this whole bed rhino line, get rid of that rubber floor mat, and have a good permanent spray-in bed liner. I've really been a big fan of those over the years. So, well, once we get this buttoned up, see what else we're gonna get into. All right, we got back from the farm machinery show late last week, and weather's turned off absolutely beautiful for this week. Looks like we're gonna get to work in the shop with the doors open. So now that we got the gooseneck hitch installed in my 2500 ram, time to start running all of our other equipment through the shop. And we're going to start out by getting everything serviced before we start repairing, changing all the fluids, filters, and everything else. We do have big boxes of parts to put on the tractors, but first, to finish out this video, we're just gonna get everything serviced, and then we'll come back and start all the repair stuff. So right now, it looks like Andy's getting started on the dirtiest jobs first, changing the hydraulic filters. And these things are not in an easy to access place. They're right there in front of the rear axle. And really change these filters, or at least the main canister filter, you're supposed to drain all the oil. Well, this thing holds like 25 gallons of hydraulic oil at about almost $20 a gallon. No need to actually change the hydraulic oil. So what I did several years ago was buy this vacuum pump here that we hook it up to the hydraulic fill port, and it pulls suction on the oil, and we can pull those filters off and minimize how much oil we actually lose. Otherwise, pull the filter off, it's just going to come. I mean, it's going to completely drain the hydraulic reservoir and transmission. So this thing wasn't cheap several years ago, got through a Tennessee tractor, but it's definitely paid for itself in all the oil that we saved. So while he's working on that, I'm going to test out a new toy I bought at the farm machinery show. Been eyeing one of these things for several years, and I'm really excited to put it to the test, see if it's going to do what I think it's going to do. All right, what I picked up at the farm machinery show was one of these filter blasters. I've been eyeing these for a while, but anyway, you hook your air hose up here too, got a valve, and when air goes down through here, this thing just spins right here and blows compressed air out through each one of these little bitty nozzles here, and then you just this head right here is adaptable to many different sizes of filters, and you just run it up and down while this thing spins around and blows your filters out. So been eyeing these for quite a few years, never made the plunge, but seen it there at the farm machinery show, and what I heard, the people who use them really like them. So this should make a dirty and time intensive job a little bit quicker, rather than me standing there with my air wand just up and down and moving it around and never really feeling like I get the filter truly good and clean. So let's put her to the test, see if she does what she's claims to do. I'm excited about this. got a lot of the dust out. You can tell there's a bunch of fuzzy stuff, and that's what we get in the cotton field and stuff. So I'm get my air wand, and I'm gonna blow it here on the outside, and then finish blowing the rest of the dust off. All right, now we all got all the fuzz and stuff blowed out of the pleats pretty good. Do a final spin with a filter blaster. All right, it's got pretty much all of it out. I love this thing. But anyway, this is how it works. This thing costs a little less than $300, but seeing how expensive air filters are and using lower pressure air to blow them out and getting them cleaner in the long run, this is definitely a safer, better option. I'd highly recommend y'all check this out to help with your filter maintenance. All right, we got our pump going, got our valve closed, should be pulling vacuum on here. All right, let's see if Andy's gonna take a bath. Got all our filters ready to slap them back on. Now we're gonna lose some. I mean, it ain't gonna keep it all from coming out. All right, pass me the canister back, I'll swap the filter out. Man, lunch I had to feed Kelly's chickens because she's gone.
Yeah.
I had a baked potato with my lunch, and I threw the skin out there. I think chickens are directly descended from dinosaurs. They like some little velociraptors.
Yeah.
One of them grabbed the potato skin. It's like watching Daytona 500 day. He was making laps around there. Everybody else was chasing them.
Chasing it, trying to pull it out of each other's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some pretty crazy creatures, that's for sure.
All right, that's about all we're gonna get is go ahead and pull that canister off. It's already got the O-ring on here, so all we got is just throw me the canister. I'll slap the filter in there, and you screw it back on there before we lose too much oil. That vacuum pump ain't gonna keep 100% of the oil up in there.
Oh, I did end up taking a bath.
Never fails.
Never fails. And the whole top is in the bucket now.
And that top, I'm going to clean the grit off of it. Oh, uh-oh. Yeah, this filter ain't gonna work. All right, well, so much for the action. I always get these numbers confused every year, but anyway, we got the wrong filter for this one and that one for that big canister one. So anyway, I got 2 more ordered. We'll slap them on tomorrow, but you kind of get the idea of the process. All right, next thing gonna be change the fuel filters here. Gonna pull the sensor off the water separator. Try not to lose it. A lot of people say don't pre-fill your filters before you put them on the tractor. Otherwise you might introduce dirt in the system. Myself, I say as long as you're careful, it really doesn't matter. But this tractor is easy enough to bleed that we'll just go ahead and put them on dry, then pump fuel through the filters. All right, we got our fuel filters on. Before we bleed, we're gonna check this initial strainer here. It's got a little bit of black gunk in there. Get it cleaned out and put it back on, bleed the system. All right, because all these fuel lines here are plastic and they got these little plastic clips in here and they're almost impossible to get out without breaking. To bleed it, I'm going to unscrew the primary filter slightly, like that. Then we'll run our plunger right here till
till fuel starts coming out the top here, then fuel system should be bled. All right, starting to get fuel out. Still want to shoot some bubbles. I'll tighten it back up. A few more pumps, build pressure, and she should start up. All right, while Andy's changing engine oil, I got to do some diagnostic work up there in the cab so we can get some parts ordered. All right, if you remember back from last fall when I was drilling cover crops and planting wheat, I complained about the AC system in this tractor because it definitely wasn't cooling the tractor down, just didn't feel like we had the airflow. And at the time, I didn't think the fan was kicking out of low gear, so I thought either my fan's gone bad down there or the controller that's in signal to it is gone bad. But you hear the speed increasing, so that's apparently that part's not broken now, but I'm just not getting very good airflow out of this, which means that my evaporator, which is underneath the seat I'm sitting in, is probably caked up. So that means we get to pull this big heavy seat out and get to clean the condenser out, but that'll be for another day whenever we get to working on these tractors. I just want to diagnose this problem because I thought I needed to order a new fan motor, and now that doesn't appear to be the case. So we'll button this back up and revisit this problem in a couple days. All right, next thing I'm going to do, Andy's going to play acrobat, and we're going to change the fresh air filters in the cab. And unfortunately, this is something I've really neglected over the years. You can see here's the one that he just took out. I mean, pretty bad. Here's the foam protecting on it, and you can tell we definitely haven't maintained those, but we're going back in with some fresh ones and try and do a better job and stuff like that. It might be one of the reasons why we have AC problems on that tractor. All right, Andy, I just got back with a critical piece for the new equipment showing up this week. You want to help me get it out of the back of the truck?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All I can say is I hope you ate your Wheaties this morning.
I sure did.
I'll take the heavy end.
I'm glad. Oh, dear Lord. It is solid.
All right, if y'all recognize that, you probably know what's coming here in a couple days. If you don't recognize what we just took out of the truck, I'm gonna keep you guessing for a few more days. All right, I had a couple other things to do, and Andy was doing the last thing to this tractor, changing the oil in the hubs and whatever. Anyway, he came up with a unique way to kind of do it by himself, because we only got one plug here. This is the drain hole and also the fill hole and the level hole. To drain it, you got to move this. You got to back the tractor up to where this plug is all the way down on the bottom, and then to fill it up, you got to put it where it's about 90 degrees to get the right oil level in there. And he taped this flag to the wheel to be able to let him know what position the plug was in, so you don't have to keep down and constantly recheck the where the plug is.
It saves you a couple steps coming up and down the ladder.
That's some pretty nifty thinking right there. So anyway, that's what we got left to do this tractor. We're also going to put some decals on this tractor while we got it in here, because we finally got those in from England. Before I do that, I want to ask y'all a question. If y'all can kind of help me out in the comments down below. I was talking with Chronicles of Kayla earlier today, and she was asking me if I noticed like losing subscribers in batches or whatever. People that were subscribed to our channel, and then come to find out they go to check and they're not subscribed anymore. Maybe YouTube or something just automatically unsubscribing them or anything, which I hadn't really noticed that myself. None of the channels I subscribe to, I've become unsubscribed to. And typically we lose 2 to 3 subscribers on every video we do. I just figured that was YouTube cleaning up bots or whatever. But on channels that y'all regularly watch and are subscribed to, have you noticed that you actually become unsubscribed from that channel after a while? Just kind of curious about that. If you can let me know down in the comments below,
I'd appreciate it. And if you never really thought about it, I don't know, maybe you want to check your favorite channels and make sure you're still subscribed to them. Oh, and if you haven't checked out Chronicles of Kayla yet, if you like hay production, that's the channel you need to go check out. They got a bunch of really neat stuff going on their farm. All right, I was going to flag them down when to stop, but I guess I don't have to flag them down, do I? A little bit more. All right. That flag pretty smart for a redneck.
Hey, I learned something along the years.
I knew I kept you around for a reason. Even a guy like me can learn something from someone from a guy who's half his age. All right, we finally got our decals in from across the pond and had a couple of viewers comment on my ceramic coating video when we were struggling to put decals on the combine to spray some soapy water on the decal and the metal. That way you can place the decal on there nice and flat and move it around, get all the wrinkles out, and then the decal will stick in there. Well, I knew you did that with window tint. I didn't know if it had the same adhesive as what decals do, but several of y'all suggested doing that to make applying decals a lot easier, so we're going to try it. And if it don't work, someone's going to owe me some new decals. I spray the decal down here.
Yes. That's it.
This is gonna have the big yellow background. Oh yeah, that's much better. Put it down.
Now you can just slide it around, make sure all the wrinkles are out. Just want to scoot around a little too easy now.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Oh shoot.
Definitely some water in there though.
Decals are not wanting to stick to the paint. Definitely easier to place them. I don't know how well they're going to stick though. Time will tell. I think we're going to put the other side on dry. Well, put them on dry, they definitely stick a little easier, but getting bubbles and wrinkles out is...
Definitely wet on.
We got some pretty nice test plot here. We'll see which side comes off first. All right, we're gonna finish up this video with servicing of some green equipment. Andy, I bought you some presents for the 4440 here.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for them already.
Yeah, Shoot Parts had their farm show sale still running 10% off. So we got a drink caddy for the cab. Got a chrome stack to replace the muffler because that one's flared out at the flared out on the end and kind of flopping back and forth, and got new door seal for the driver's door, so it ought to be a little bit quieter in there. While looking over this sprayer, we saw what could, well, I don't know how big of a problem it is. It's a problem I really don't want to tackle, but you see all that oil right there up under the flywheel. You can kind of see you can kind of see the fan a little bit back in here, but I think our rear main seal is leaking. And I don't know how you get that flywheel out, because I don't think it's going to fit down below that, through that hole right there. And in order to get it back out here, if it comes out back this way, you got to take a ton of hoses and brackets loose. So all that oil is just from us spraying 500 acres of wheat, cause you know, we pressure wash this thing good. And so I got to call in Tennessee Tractor, see how much they think it's going to cost. You know, if I could get that flywheel off easy and get access to the seal, I'd probably try to do it myself as seeing how all this stuff might have to come off. And I don't typically have good luck putting in seals, especially important ones. I'd probably tear it and it'd leak just as bad after I reassembled it all, and I'd wind up having to take it to deer anyway. So for this job, I'm probably gonna let the professionals handle it. Not gonna be cheap, but I mean, this is a high hour sprayer. It's got something like, what, 4,000 hours on it, ain't it?
Roundabout, yeah.
But anyway, not gonna show y'all too much of this. We didn't got the oil drained out. Working on changing filters. Do the same thing for that tractor if we got enough engine oil. We're getting down to the bottom of the barrel of engine oil. I got some more ordered, but it won't be here until Friday. So we're gonna work on this for a few minutes. I'll bring you back. All right, Andy, let's get this stuff wrapped up. Sprayer, everything's done except for the wheel hubs. Let's get the oil changed in the wheel hubs. All right, changing the oil in these hubs on these self-propelled sprayers is very critical because you can imagine during summer, these hubs get pretty hot and it can break down the oil very quickly. So we change ours religiously once a year. In the past, before I figured out how crucial it was, I know I had to pay to have one of these hubs repaired, and trust me, even expensive synthetic oil that goes in here is way, way cheaper than what a hub is. So. A lot of people don't necessarily think about it, but the oil in these hubs needs to be changed at least annually. And each of these hubs, at least on the R-Series sprayers, takes 1.4 quarts of synthetic John Deere gear oil. All right, well, we just got all the equipment that we're going to need this spring. We just got it serviced and everything, and now the fun and expensive stuff really starts. All the repair work, and know how I mentioned earlier in this video that it's like a rear main engine seal is leaking. Not good news on that front, but I'll cover all that in the next video. Got to make you wait. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.